All you Jake Paul fans, all you Donald Trump fans, we're going to talk today. I usually don't come on Mondays, but we're going to talk today. We're going to talk about mediocrity and how mediocre wins in today's society. Mediocre wins. Jake Paul, tomato can. You're whack, Jake Paul. You're weak. I put up a post. I put up a couple of posts. On Friday night while the fight was going on. And I had a whole bunch of Jake Paul stands in my comments. Cop and please. Giving a bunch of excuses. Excuses are tools of incompetence. Tools of incompetence. That's what excuses are. Jake Paul. Jake Paul. I had to go get the MC light. I had to go old school to laugh at this dude. The stands have been in my comments since Friday. The stands, the Jake Paul stands. And then Donald Trump. Come on, dude. You're mediocre at best. And you're taking away Juneteenth and MLK Day, 3 days at the national parks. On MLK and Juneteenth, you took those away and named Flag Day, which is your birthday, the day that the national parks are free. Dude, you're a weenie. Donald Trump, you're a weenie, and you're talking about you've done so much for black people. Man, you've done everything you can to put people back, to put black people, black Americans, FBAs back to Jim Crow. Back to Jim Crow. You've done everything in your power to put black Americans back to Jim Crow. On top of orchestrating the employment collapse of OPM, which is the Office of Personnel Management. 105,000 people lost their jobs in October. And most of those people were black women working in the federal government. There are lots of men who lost their jobs as well. But for the most part, Donald Trump and his Doge policies strategically and categorically gutted a large portion of working class black women. But you're the president for black people, the president who's done the most for black people. HBCUs are fighting for money. You took their money away. So yeah, today we're going to talk about mediocre. and how mediocre has taken over. Now, we know that there's a certain group of people who can't be mediocre. We have to be twice. We have to do twice as more. We have to be twice as better just to be recognized as productive. But on the other hand, mediocre. Jake Paul, back to you. Mediocre. And I think that Jake Paul saved face by not fighting Tank Davis. Because Tank Davis was not going to go by script. So Jake Paul had to fight somebody unscripted, and it had to be a real boxer. Why he chose Anthony Joshua is beyond me. It's beyond me. It's beyond me why he would choose Anthony Joshua and think Anthony Joshua is washed up. Crazy. Crazy. That's all I can say. It's crazy. Jake Paul thought he was going to beat Anthony Joshua. Sucker, you missed. Mediocre. How does mediocre become the norm? We're going to talk about it today. Mediocre. We got a mediocre president. We got a mediocre presidential staff. We got a mediocre boxer that just made $92 million. And people thought, well, dummies. Dummies actually thought that Jake Paul was going to win. Decafs. Boxing decafs who know nothing about the sport thought that Jake Paul actually had a chance. And now they're saying, oh, well, Jake Paul made it 6 rounds. He made it 6 rounds because Anthony Joshua let him make it 6 rounds. Anthony Joshua could have knocked him out in the first round. But, he wanted to give the people their money's worth. At no point in that fight was Anthony Joshua in trouble for anything. None of Jake Paul's punches affected him. Jake Paul was a runner. He ran the whole fight. You got all these people, decafs, talking about Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney and even Terrence Crawford were runners in the ring. What you saw on Friday night, Jake Paul, that's running. Literally. He literally ran around the ring until he tired himself out, and then he got knocked out. Like all pure boxing fans knew Jake Paul did not have a chance if the fight wasn't scripted. We knew this. We knew this. What's going on, Juggernaut? We knew this. You all really thought Jake Paul had a chance to win that fight? We got a mediocre president. Now they're coming out and say that he bought his bride. Allegedly. Damn. Not only does the president of the United States have a Russian wife, but now they're saying she was bought. She was part of Epstein's harem, allegedly. If that ain't mediocre, I don't know what mediocre is. It's mid as hell. The president of the United States didn't even meet his wife. He bought her, allegedly. Wow. All you black people, FBAs, black people, black Americans, whatever you want to call yourself, you Republicans that voted for Donald Trump, what do y'all have to say now? What do you all have to say now? What are you gonna say about MLK Day and Juneteenth being taken? Black people they didn't go to the national parks. No, black people do go to the national parks. And even if black people didn't go to the national parks, there's white people who go to the national parks who want to observe MLK. And the way that Juneteenth has been corporatized, there are some white people who want to celebrate Juneteenth as well. Nothing wrong with that. But why he would take those 2 days away and replace them with his birthday? We got a mediocre president who poops in his depends. Other dignitaries of the world don't even want to stand next to him because he shits his pants. Dirty diaper Donald, allegedly. But if you look at those videos of when he's with dignitaries, whoever's standing behind him catching downstream whiff, they're never smiling. Damn, the president shits on himself. And he has a bought bride. Wow. How does mediocre become de jour? How? How do we have a presidential cabinet of mediocre idiots? If you haven't been watching the hearings, I implore you to get on C-SPAN so you can see mediocrity and ineptitude in real time. If you haven't been watching the hearings for the last week and a half, I implore you to watch C-SPAN and watch these Republicans being grilled and they can't even answer questions. They try to use mediocre Don's playbook. It's not working. And people are jumping ship. Republicans, congresswomen, and senators are resigning their political positions because they don't want to go down with the mediocre ship. Mediocre. Why does nobody talk about how mediocre is popular? Mediocre. Other countries look at America now as mediocre. The Republican Party does nothing but deflect and dodge mediocre traits. Deflect and dodge. Never reply with factual information. How did America become mediocre? How did America become mediocre? Damn, Jake Paul. Back to you. Damn, Jake Paul. People really thought there was going to be a Rocky Balboa moment. Get the out of here. Did y'all really think Jake Paul was going to get to come out there and run up to the top of the Philadelphia Museum and throw, get the out of here? Get out of here with that shit. Jake Paul is a tomato can. He's a A1 promoter. I will give him that. Because all of you, as PT Barnum put it, there's a sucker born every minute. And there was a bunch of suckers at that boxing match. You suckers really thought y'all was going to go there and get a Rocky Balboa moment? Get the hell out of here. They said that Jake Paul's injuries are career ending. Got his jaw broken 2 places. Mediocre. Mediocre. I'm going to put the link out because, I want to have a panel. I want some people to come up on this panel. Even if you don't agree with what I'm saying, you're more than welcome to come up here and, as an adult, give your opinion. You get out of line, I kick your ass off. They really thought that dude, they really thought it was going to be a real version of the great. Man, if you have not watched the movie The Great White Hype, you might want to go watch it and see what Jake Paul did to y'all. There's a sucker born every minute. And $92 million, well, more than that, because he made 92. I don't know how much Anthony Joshua made, but it's a big figure. And the only way they were able to pay that money is because, as P.T. Barnum said, there's a sucker born every minute. It was a bunch of suckers at that boxing match. Now, they did have some real boxing matches, but the people weren't there to see the undercard. They were there to see Jake Paul beat Anthony Joshua. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. Shouts out to everybody watching on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and the people right here on YouTube. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this up.
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul, you had these people out here really thinking you was going to beat Anthony Joshua. And you didn't fight Tank because Tank was going to knock you out. Tank wasn't going to follow the script. Tank was going to try to knock your block off. And you knew that. And it's better optics if you get knocked out by Anthony Joshua as opposed to getting knocked out by Tank Davis. Y'all can put it out there, whatever you want, but you didn't fight Tank because Tank told you he was not following the script and he was going to try to hurt you. It would have been a David versus Goliath. And you would have got knocked out. You might not have got your jaw broke, but you'd have got knocked out by Tank. But we will never know. We will never know, Glass Joe. We will never know, Glass Joe. Kind of look like Jake. Glass Jake. Glass Jaw Jake. Glass Jaw Jake. When did mediocrity become the chosen path? When? It's been mediocre for a while. It's been the U.S. didn't just get, it's been mediocre for a while. It's been real unseasoned for a while. When I'm getting messages on other channels. I'm sorry. I don't have those other channels pulled up. I'm gonna have to do something about that. But when did mediocre become the new gold standard? Hurt, what's going on, Hurt? When did mediocre become the gold standard? Mediocre. I can tell you one thing. It's hard for a black person to be mediocre and get by. It's hard for a black person to be mediocre and get by. Kenny Payne lasted about 18 months being mediocre at Louisville. Now, it was a historical mediocre. It took about 18 months. Mediocre black people don't last long. Mediocre black people don't last. The chat. Do mediocre black people make it to the highest? Do mediocre black people make it to the highest levels? Do mediocre black people, FBAs, black Americans, make it to the highest levels? Being mediocre. No. Mediocre. Look what mediocre leadership gets you. Look what mediocre leadership at the highest levels gets you. Look at the types of people, mediocre people, put in position to win. Mediocre. Now, there are mediocre black people out there, but you're not going to see them front and center. YWG said, we are not allowed to be mediocre. Mediocre. Mediocre leadership at the highest levels. Mediocre athleticism at the highest levels for $92 million. $92 million. That's a whole lot of money for a person that's not even a professional boxer. $92 million. Think about that. A mediocre boxer that ain't paid no dues. None at all in terms of boxing. Made $92 million. $92 million. $92 million. Cam Newton, who wasn't mediocre when he hasn't retired. He just hasn't played in 2 years. But Cam Newton was still at the top of his game, and he can't get a tryout. I think it's safe to say that Cam Newton is better. I would say that there's not. I would say there's not 32 quarterbacks, 64 quarterbacks if you count backups, that are better than Cam Newton. You gonna tell me it's 32 starting quarterbacks in the league right now is better than Cam Newton? Mediocre. Now, wow. The Department of Justice came out the other day and said if a company has DEI groups, social groups, DEI initiatives in any capacity at a company, you will be sanctioned. You will be investigated. Are you all paying attention to what's going on around you? Schools, universities cannot have African American graduations. Lots of schools, the African Americans take part in the regular graduation, but they also have ceremonies where, so you don't have to sit. So, yeah, you cannot do that. There can't be Black alumni associations at colleges any longer. Look what they're doing. The discriminators are defining discrimination. Y'all are under. This administration is systematically and legislatively setting Black Americans back decades. In a matter of writing strokes. If there was no loyalty in employment before now, what do you think it's going to be like going forward? People aren't paying attention. I think people are frustrated by the rise of mediocrity. Lots of people are disheartened. Lots of people feel like their fortitude is being challenged. Mediocre. Mediocre Black people don't make it to the highest levels of anything. And this is just a discussion. But I don't think I've said anything out of line. I don't think I've said anything that's not factual. And anything that I said allegedly. I don't think I've said anything that's not factual. In less than 18 months, a person's education has been devalued. Make no mistakes about that. The last 18 months, a college education has been devalued. Now is the time to, whatever side hustle you got, whatever side business you got, it's time to enact that plan. Because even if you have a job, it's not guaranteed. And the only way you're going to get a 100% fair shake is to have your own. The only way you 100% know and have security is having your own. Unless things change, but things will get worse before they get better. Mediocre. Mediocre. The only way that you really can get a fair shake is to have your own. Ownership. YWG said, this fool put newscasters, talk show hosts, lawn care folks in charge of major positions. He put lawyers that had never litigated in high-level legal positions. You can't make this. If you didn't see it, you couldn't make it up. He fired 4-star and 5-star generals and put people like Pete Hegseth in charge of the military. He fired 4-star and 5-star generals and put Pete Hegseth over the Department of newly named War. You can't make this stuff up. Pete Hegseth. They all use the same mediocre tactics. Deflect and deny. Deflect and deny. Jake Paul couldn't deflect and deny. Pete Higson. And I'm just calling out stuff. This isn't no racial conversation. I'm just calling stuff out. What this man has done. He fired the black lady that was a Federal Reserve chair. He fired the black four-star, but he has done the most for black people of any president. People got fired. Black people and white people got fired for stating their opinion on Charlie Kirk's death. Charlie Kirk. Who the heck is Charlie Kirk? People lost their jobs, their livelihoods for an opinion on a man who talked in racist tones. You can't make this stuff up. People lost their jobs. Understand that. Lots of black people are walking on eggshells at their jobs. Because if a white person can get fired for saying something about Charlie Kirk, what can a black person get fired for saying? A lot of black people walk around on eggshells at work. I would be walking on eggshells at work if I had a job. Because you can be fired for your political allegiance. That's why I'm independent. That's why I'm independent. Person asks me who I'm independent. I vote for who I like. That is truly being private. Oh, you don't let nobody see who you vote for when you go in close the for what? You a Democrat or you a Republican? I'm independent. Can't put me in no bucket. Independents should be the ones closing the curtain behind them when they go in there to vote. But it really don't matter when you go in there to vote because you got to bring that little thing and put it in the computer, and then people be looking at who you voted for when. Yeah, come on now. It's not private. The only people that have private rights to voting are independents. If you're a Republican, they know you're a Republican. If you're a Democrat, they know you're a Democrat. They know who you're going to vote for. They got y'all, oh, it's private. Oh, close the thing behind you when you go in so no one can see who you vote for. Y'all don't see the technology behind that? Yeah. You fill that little thing out and take that thing up. The people was goosenecking to see what block you was voting in. I walked up to that bad boy with a white sheet of paper and my thing and put my thing in front of the thing and then put my thing in. They was looking at me crazy. It ain't private. You got to tell them your party affiliation when you come in there. Your eyes ain't open, you can't see. Your eyes ain't open, you can't see. Mediocre. We're talking about mediocre today. And everybody's, I was talking to somebody and we were talking about when the shutdown was going on. And that person said that no, the shutdown is going to end probably right before Christmas to give people some type of normalcy through the holidays. And then on January 19th, we'll be right back where we were. That is why the Republicans have not put forth a viable health care plan, because they don't want to do it right now. They're going to go on shutdown again on the 19th and blame the Democrats. How you can put blame on somebody when you have the executive branch, the judicial branch, and the legislative branch, and the executive branch. You have all four majorities. So you can't put blame on the Democrats. And people who listen to that are dumb. Spin. I'm not going to say you're dumb, but you're ignorant to the facts. It's spin. How can the Democrats be in charge of anything? I don't watch the news on regular TV. I don't watch regular TV. I don't like the stuff that they put out there as normal, so I don't watch it. If they put stuff on TV that you don't agree with, don't watch it. How you get it off the TV is you don't watch it. The advertisers don't like shows that people don't watch. You don't have to complain about it. Just don't watch it. That way you can put your energies in better places. But they're banking on you being fooled by what they put out there in front of you. But if you don't even partake of that stuff that they're putting out there, you can't be in La La Land. In order to understand the beast, you got to take yourself outside of the beast and look at the beast. Him and Donald Trump, MAGA Mike and Dirty Diaper are the reason that people are resigning from the Republican Party, because they're not going down with that ship. And you can best believe that whatever they need to do, the Republican Party, they better do it in the next 6 months.
Because come midterm elections, that majority is out of there because of Donald Trump. Because of Donald Trump, in 6 months, the Republicans will not have the supermajority any longer. They'll have the Supreme Court, and they'll have the executive branch, which is Donald Trump. But they're about to lose the majority of the legislative branch, and probably by a wide margin. When you have mediocre people in charge, you have infighting. That's why the Republicans are fighting, because they we got a bunch of nitwits running the country. And they are nitwits. Make no mistake about that. People, we can't just sit idly by and watch. We can't do that. We can't do that. Or Alan to the show, hit the like button, subscribe to the page. Go back and watch the other videos. It's crazy what's going on. Mediocrity. Hold on, because I keep on saying this. Mediocrity. I was saying it right. Mediocrity versus mediocrity. So there's difference. Mediocrity is government or rule by a mediocre person or group. We have a mediocrity right now. Mediocre. A mediocrity. That's what we have right now. And mediocrity is the state or quality of being mediocre. Mediocre ability or accomplishment. A mediocre person is in the state of mediocrity. But being ruled by mediocre people is a mediocrity. The shoe didn't, that shoe fits. That shoe fits this administration. Mediocrity. It fits, it fits. Mediocre. Back to Jake Paul. Tomato can. Wasn't no win. He's a great promoter. He's probably the best promoter since P.T. Barnum, because he puts on circus. He puts on spectacles and puts himself at the pinnacle of what's going on. But now he's in a conundrum, because he has to keep fighting boxers. He can't go back to fighting nobodies. He has to continue fighting real boxers. Will he drop down and wait Conversation going on in the chat. Mediocre. Mediocre. Now, if there's anybody that wants to debate that this administration is not mediocre, please, let's go. Please. I'll debate a person that says that this administration isn't mediocre without notes. I don't need notes to win that debate. "56 minutes into the show, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Juggernaut said they're stealing this country's money and are about to run with it. Lips dry. To the people that are on the other channels leaving comments, I apologize. It's only me. I'm the producer, the production assistant, the gopher, the grip, the sound man. I'm all of that in one. I got 2 arms and 2 monitors, or 3 monitors. I like to look at you all when I talk. I don't want to be, even though I do it. But yeah, I put the link out because I want to know how you all feel about this. My lips are dry because I've been talking. How do you all feel? You all know how I feel about it. I'm gonna put the link out again. Juggernaut, YWG, what y'all got to say, man? What do you all have to say? What y'all got to say, man? I know y'all have a lot to say. Have things, I know things are bad in the DMV where YWG is. Are things bad in Atlanta? Jug? Things are bad here. Prices are too high. I've been seeing videos about how barbers have lost a lot of money with how much they charge for haircuts now. And I'll be honest, I have friends that are barbers. Some of them charge $100. Some of them charge $100 a cut. Some of them charge $50 a cut. And some of them still charge $30 a cut. I stopped going to the barber at least 10 years ago. I just bought me some clippers. Because when the haircut got more than $30, because I was the type of person, I like to go to the barbershop every week, every other week. But I refused to pay $50 for a shape up. I did. I refused. Because all barbers aren't created equal. There's a lot of mediocre barbers. And if you live in a place like Washington, D.C., where You can have an apprenticeship. You don't even have a license. You're learning from a master barber. You can charge what the master barbers are charging, and you don't have to say you're an apprentice. So yeah, when they start doing that, I stopped going. I stopped going. I stopped going to the barbershop. When they was letting students, some states, I don't think you can do that in Ohio or Kentucky, but yes, in the DMV, you don't have to have a license to cut in a barbershop. Yeah, man, the economy is bad, man. Nobody got $100 to pay for a shape up, and that's not even with a hot towel or getting your beard and your mustache. And yeah, that's just $100 for a shape up, for a lineup, $50 for a line. Man, I lined my damn self up because there are mediocre barbers out there charging exorbitant money. Yeah. I don't hate on nobody's game, but I'm not paying no $50 to get a shape up. I'm sorry. Go get me some wall clippers. Let's go. Yeah. No. We're talking mediocre tonight. What are some things that are mediocre now that weren't mediocre in the past? I can tell you this. A Big Mac right now is mediocre. A Big Mac is me out, and I don't eat. I haven't ate a McDonald's in over 3 years, but I remember when I was little, and it don't out of my hands was, but you had to hold a Big Mac with 2 hands. Now you can hold a Big Mac with 2 fingers. Mediocre. YWG said he got his beard, head, and a hot towel for $11 in Brazil. And they wonder why people are leaving America and going abroad. My man said he got his beard shaped up and lined up. He got his head straight razored. He ain't got no hair. He ain't got no hair. YG ain't got no hair. I ain't, my bad. I ain't. And and the hot towel for $11. I think the hot towel might cost $20 alone just for them to go on a little warmer. And the towel warmer, put that hot towel on your head. Shrinkflation. Yeah, man. And the barbers ain't backing down. They're not backing down on their prices. But I know this. I know with them $100 cuts, people that used to get their hair cut every week, I guarantee you they not getting their hair cut every week for $100 a pop. Juggernaut said he got a cut, a goatee, and a face rub in the DR for $7. Yeah. Shouts out to YWG. Yeah, man. Shouts out to YWG. This is a salted caramel cheesecake Kit Kat. Yeah, shouts out to YWG for the good Brazilian candy that you can't get in America. Ooh. This Kit Kat is white. Salted caramel cheesecake Kit Kat. is so good. This is so good. And it's made with real ingredients. Salted caramel cheesecake Kit Kat. Wow. Juggernaut said he got the face rub. Damn. Damn. Yeah, man. $50 and above. For what y'all got done for $7 and $11 respectively. Man. I will say this. This big box of candy that I got from Brazil, it's gonna take a long time to eat this up. Because that chocolate from overseas or from outside America is so rich and no high fructose corn syrup. That one piece of Kit Kat, I'm over here. I don't need no more chocolate right now for a second. But yeah, we're talking about mediocre. Mediocre. We have a mediocre president. I was just arguing with about 20 Jake Paul stands about a mediocre non-boxer. So I decided we're going to talk about mediocre today. Mediocre. How do y'all feel about, I'm just asking questions. How do you all feel about Donald Trump removing MLK Day and Juneteenth from free days at the National Park through the National Park Service? How do y'all feel about that? Me, I go to national parks. I go to national parks, so how do y'all feel about that? Is it much ado about nothing? Is it nothing to be upset about? Is it nothing to be upset about? What y'all think? Am I barking up the wrong tree talking about mediocre? Juggernaut said this from straight black anger. And with the new plaques on the White House, wow, it's just crazy. And Donald Trump put his name on the Kennedy Center. It's the Donald J. Trump and John F. Kennedy Center now until the Republicans are out of office. Yeah, put his name on the Kennedy Center, man. That's against the law. And he's doing something else. He's putting himself on a coin. No living, sitting president has had a commemorative coin I think over 75, 80 years. He's putting his head on a commemorative coin while he's still in office. Hey, we're talking mediocre tonight. I just watched a mediocre boxer get his face broke. And I've been watching for the last 18 months a mediocre president run the nation into the ground. And anybody that says that he's not running this nation into the ground and setting black people, I wish where are the people that where are the black people? Where are blacks for Trump? I want one of those blacks for Trump people to come up here and talk to me because I really want to know how they feel. Do they feel betrayed? Where are blacks for Trump at? Where y'all hiding at? They don't want to talk about. And they go, oh, it's just a superficial day. That don't mean too much about nothing. I really want to hear what they have to say. I want to know what Donald Trump has done for black people. You know, people criticize and say Obama didn't do enough for black people. What has Donald Trump done for black people? What has Donald Trump done for black people? I'll be waiting for one of you blacks for Trump to come into the comments. You know, and I'm going to ridicule you. I just really want to see where your head is at. I want to know what Donald Trump has done for black people. Except try to set black people backwards. I don't know. Now, let's go back and talk about this though. I can't gloss by this. Are black people walking on eggs and on eggshells at work? Because of the climate that this administration has created. You can't be comfortable at work when you see people got fired for saying something about Charlie Kirk. I wonder what I would love to see the look on somebody's face. When white person came into work and there's a black person. Hey, what you think about Charlie Kirk? I don't even watch the news. I don't even watch. Who is Charlie Kirk? If I was working in the office when Charlie Kirk happened, I would have played dumb. Charlie Kirk, who was he? I don't know nothing about Charlie Kirk. Knowing that I've seen all the crazy racist rhetoric this dude didn't put out here. But you don't want to see nobody get killed, but people lost their jobs. Kentucky state senators want to create a Charlie Kirk Day. I just talked about how they are setting black people back legislatively through legislation. Now, are the people of Kentucky going to let these state senators enact a Charlie Kirk holiday in Kentucky? Two state congressmen, senators, one of them state representative. They want to create a Charlie Kirk Day in Kentucky. Turning Point USA ain't even created a Charlie Kirk memorial, nothing, since he passed away. Y'all might want to look at that. Turning Point USA, they don't even talk about Charlie Kirk no more. They talk about Charlie Kirk's wife, who got crazy ties to different stuff that has happened in the past, as well as her connections to Donald Trump. Charlie Kirk's wife comes from a very, very powerful family. It's not happenstance that she is where she is. There are no such things as coincidences. You don't even hear Turning Point USA say nothing about Charlie Kirk no more, other than trying to get Candace Owens to shut up. They don't even talk about Charlie Kirk. That right there says enough to me. That right there says enough to me. That dude did something that made some people mad, and they got him up through. Mediocre. Charlie Kirk's downing people that had degrees and black women that had degrees and people that was educated at the highest levels, and this dude flunked out of community college. You see how depending on the platform a mediocre person has, they can tear down people that have education that will wrap around his neck. Just told y'all they done devalued your education the last 18 months. Yeah, man, you got to watch this, man. Yeah, Charlie Kirk's wife is tied to Trump, man. She won one of Donald Trump's beauty pageants when she was young. Then she went to some other country. I'm not sure, Romania. I think it's Romania. Look Charlie Kirk's wife up. She has some type of stuff going on in Romania, and she got accused of how can I put this? Street traffic lights, children. Yeah, street traffic lights, children. She got accused of that and got kicked out of Romania. Street light traffic. Kids. So, man, yeah, man. Hey, man. Crazy stuff going on out here. You don't put your ear to the streets, you won't know. And they ain't talking about this type of stuff on regular TV. Yeah, Charlie Kirk's wife challenged Candace Owens to a debate. Try to get her to come out in public so they know where she at, and they was going to zap her. Now, when I did that show, and we did that show about Candace Owens, and I was talking about those people. I mean, I knew that she had credible. When we had the show, I knew she had credible sources that had told her that. Yeah, then they come out and say that they want Candace Owens to come to Turning Point USA to debate Charlie Kirk's wife. Yeah, man. So the narrative that they try to put out there, sometimes you got to go deeper. You got to go below that. Yeah, you're not going to get the news you need from the media. The news you need is on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. That's where the news is, because the news on social media isn't sanitized. Yeah, it's not the news that you get on the internet is not sanitized. Now you got to get it from different angles, but it's not sanitized. You're going to get the news as it is, as it happens. Yeah, I don't watch CBS. I mean, I look at them for their viewpoints, but it's skewed. It's slanted. That's why I like C-SPAN when I watch the hearings. Straight voices. Yeah. There's no slant. You get what's there. It's crazy. We live in crazy times. We're living in crazy times. Got to move smart. So they ain't no playing game. It ain't no playing game. Our time here is limited. Our time here is not unlimited. We have a finite amount of time to accomplish the things we want to accomplish in life. We must act accordingly. Now, we know we can't be mediocre, so I mean, you can, as a black person, you can be mediocre. It's going to be worse off for you. And even though mediocre is in power, you know, things are cyclical. There will come a time where, people's educations and things will be valued. But this administration is the main thing that seems to me is that anything that's tied to black success, black wealth is being gutted legislatively. Now, all these people who lost their jobs within the federal government, even though I think there's litigation to say that they may get their jobs back or whatever, but make no mistakes, those positions weren't going to be filled with educated black people. Let's just be real. I don't know who was going to be filled with them, but the people that were in those roles weren't going back to those roles. Let's just say that. It's real out here. I mean, I can understand people not wanting to talk about, how they walking around work on eggshells, but I know y'all walking around work on eggshells. I know y'all are. Most states are at will states. It was bad before this administration came in. This administration in here now, at will states is on steroids right now. People can literally let you go for not liking you. People can make your life miserable. People can make you feel like you got to do a whole lot of work. I may have to go back to W-2. Who knows? Right now, it's yeah. But yeah. Yeah. Yes, YWG. That's what I was talking about earlier. How companies that have DEI programs, that have DEI social groups, peer groups, if they are in, if it's not a peer, which I don't understand, if it's not inclusive for everyone, it's not inclusive for nobody. And the companies that they're going after those people. They're going after those people. Donald Trump is vindictive. Did y'all see how he talked about the actor and his wife that got killed? There was nothing presidential about what he said or the tone that he said it in. This man is not presidential. He's mediocre. He's mediocre. And he allegedly poops his pants. That's mediocre in itself. I'm not going to say that. We are living in crazy times. Donald Trump is peeing in the air and telling you it's raining. Donald Trump is peeing in the air and telling you it's raining. He's going to lower, what did he say the other day? He's going to lower pharmaceutical prices by 600%. It's impossible. He would be paying you to take the drugs. This man knows not what the hell he's talking about. He talked all this stuff about calling Joe Biden Sleepy Joe and Sleepy this and Sleepy that, and he's passing out in meetings. Waking up going off. Sleepy Joe didn't do that. Just wake up and start talking crazy. Hey, man, mediocre. This man talked about how many times Obama went to play golf. And I think Obama went to play golf 4 times in 4 years. Donald Trump has played, I think he played golf 39 days. I hope, yeah. This dude is a walking oxymoron. Yeah, this dude said he was going to discount 600%. You can't do that. Then some man tried to come on and say, well, he was just, no, it ain't what he said. He said he was going to discount 600, 500, 600%. And people in the Congress was looking around like, this dude know what he just said? We would be paying people to take the drugs if it's discounted 600%. 100% discount, 100% takes it to zero. It doesn't cost anything. And he's going to reduce it 600%, 500%. This dude just talks to himself talk. $600. Hey, man. excuses, deflect, deny, excuses. DDE. Deflect, deny, excuses. The mediocre people that came in my comments this weekend, y'all brought this conversation out. Y'all made me have to point this out. I really thought Jake Paul was going to win the fight. The Great White Hype. Go watch the movie The Great White Hype. If you've never watched The Great White Hype, go watch it. They'll tell you Jake Paul's story. The movie The Great White Hype. Pull it up. Watch it. And you will see Jake Paul probably watched The Great White Hype. He probably, I wouldn't put it past. I would say that Jake Paul probably watched the movie The Great White Hype and got it in his mind, I can do this boxing thing and make money off of this. I ain't gonna say I bet anything. I would bet that Jake Paul watched The Great White Hype and based this boxing stuff off of that. I'm almost 100%. Go watch The Great White Hype and you will see what I mean. The Great White Hype is Jake Paul. The Great White Hype. Matter of fact, let me find The Great White Hype. Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up for y'all. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna put it up. Yeah. Here y'all go. The Great White Hype, made in 1996. Boxing promoter, the Reverend Fred Sultan, Samuel L. Jackson, decides the best way to revive public interest in his top clients' matches is to create a white challenger to his black champion. James the Grim Reaper Roper, Damon Wayans, with no white boxers available, he creates one out of dim grunge rocker Terry Corcoran, who once defeated Roper in an amateur match. But while Conklin trains hard, Roper slacks off, endangering Sultan's carefully staged comeback. The Great White Hype. Go watch it. Funny movie. But I guarantee you, Jake Paul watched this. It's a cult classic. They gave it 5 out of 10. Cheech and Chong is in it. John Lovitz. So that can tell you what kind of movie it is. Jeff Goldblum. He ain't the fly in this one, but yeah. Tell you what kind of, yeah. The Great White Hype. Guarantee you Jake Paul watched that movie. I would bet anything that Jake Paul watched The Great White Hype and said, we can get rich off of this. I guarantee it. They're going to have to go to MMA to get that dude because boxing ain't where it's going to happen. It's not going to happen. Black American boxers have always been the best boxers. Going back to the beginning, why they didn't want to fight, you know, after my mind went blank. After who was the boxer with all gold teeth? He rode around with white women in his car. Jack Johnson. After Jack Johnson, who held the heavyweight championship for, I think, 13 years. After Jack Johnson lost the heavyweight champion, they didn't give a black man a chance to win the heavyweight championship. So I think it was like 40-some years, 30-some, 40-some years. And then the next person that won the next person that won the heavyweight championship after Jack Johnson was Joe Louis. So between the time that Jack Johnson lost and who did I say? I might just went blank again. Joe Louis. Almost 40 years. They wouldn't let a black man fight for the heavyweight championship. Jake Paul was never going to be no hero, man. They was going to keep on putting subpar black boxers, people that needed some money. Shit, I'd have took. I mean, don't get me wrong. Jake Paul tell me he want me to fight him for a couple rounds and then take one on the chin. Yeah, yeah. For real. But y'all can't really. I mean, the Great White Hype is over with. I mean. He got his chin, his jaw is broken 2 places. I think they said that his boxing career is over. His boxing career is over. And it ended just like the Great White Hype ended. It ended just like the Great White Hype ended. You got to watch that movie. Yeah, they put Jake Paul's face on the Martin character when Martin got beat up by Tommy Hearns. They didn't turn that into Jake Paul's lumped up face. I had the picture. I can't find it. But yeah. I don't know what to say. But there will come a day that mediocre will not rule. Right now, mediocre is ruling in lots of different facets. And it's a shame. It's a shame. Because you see how you see what people can do with power once they get it. NBC had an entire department of black producers that were all let go on the same day. All let go. So when I say that stuff is concerted, I'm not just picking for straws. I'm telling you what's going on. 300,000 black women don't lose their jobs, and it's not a concerted effort. In the last 5 months, more black women have lost jobs than all other demographics put together. That's not a coincidence. That is strategic, malicious, and calculated. Donald Trump said black women got too much power with Black Lives Matter. Black women were empowered so much by Black Lives Matter. Donald Trump said, I'll throw a monkey wrench in that and end that. And now, even though I don't agree with him, one of the ladies has from Black, it might, you know what, it might be a lower level of Black Lives Matter, but I think Milwaukee, a lady that was the head of Black Lives Matter was indicted a couple weeks ago for embezzlement and interstate commerce. Yeah. 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 She got indicted. Now I don't know if they've done anything to I think the heads, I think they filed bankruptcies. They took all the money and bought two big houses. That's what the main two ladies, they took all the money and bought two big mansions in Beverly Hills. Hey. Yeah. Gotta hit the MC Light to Jake Paul one more time. Had to do the MC Light laugh on you. Had to do the MC Light laugh on you, Jake Paul. I thought the Jake Paul stands were going to come out tonight because they were talking real salty on my posts. Thought they was coming out with them. Think they knew what was going to happen. It's a debate they can't win. Jake Paul is a tomato can. Donald Trump is mediocre. These are facts. These are facts. I'll be back in a little bit because, I'm gaming tonight. I'm gaming tonight. I'm playing the game of debauchery. I've been playing this game. This game is crazy. I've been playing this game called Drug Dealer Simulator. Let me tell y'all, the game is crazy. There's some crazy games out there, but shoot 'em up, bang, bang, sports, and Drug Dealer Simulator. We'll be playing the game. I had to get on here and talk about mediocre people. Mediocre. Mediocrity. I'll deal with being mediocre. Some people don't get the chance to be mediocre. Some people. Class J, sorry about your job. Donald Trump, sorry about your pamper. I'll get with y'all tomorrow. It's your boy Maas Apeal. Washed up. See y'all tomorrow.
Love Addicts Music Group.